Hello, everyone. On April 29th, very early morning, Mars is exactly going to be conjunct with Neptune. Now, this is again not a very rare aspect. It occurs every 2 years. And actually, within 2 years, because Mars has a 2-year orbit, all kinds of Neptune Mars aspects are getting exact throughout those 2 years. So it's really something not very, very, very important. Why it is still interesting in this particular occasion? Because Mars is at the end of Pisces, ruled by Neptune, conjunct Neptune, and almost anaretic. It's 28 degrees 52, so it's really 8 minutes away from getting anaretic. So this particular conjunction is kind of heralding some sort of peaceful um, uh, reconsidering of our problems and of our fights. Let's put it this way. What does Mars and Neptune do? Well, Mars is your will, how you exercise your will. It is it is so-called misfortuna minor, so the minor misfortune. And all kinds of negative things like wars and aggression and violence are also linked to it. But really, it is how you exercise your will. It's also a sexual planet, and it's in Pisces not the best of the signs for Mars, which is a fiery planet, and in water, of course, it gets a little bit mushy. Whereas Neptune is very strong in its own sign, but what you see very often with transcendental planets is that if you drag them down to the third dimension, they get murky. Their true original task or abilities get kind of muddy. And if you go up there and try to utilize them on a higher dimensional level, that is when their true colors are shining. When you put together Neptune and Mars, you get what I call the knight in shining armor. If it's a bad aspect, if it's a challenging aspect, it's usually the Don Quixote energy. When Don Quixote is fighting against Mills, and he thinks that they are giants and he needs to conquer them. But if you get a good aspect, it usually means the Grail Knight. Who is the Grail Knight? Someone who is on a quest and fights for some sort of brilliant, beautiful idea. Of course, Neptune is also responsible for all kinds of esoteric things, all kinds of things that you need to believe in. It is the priest, it's the guru, it is also the artist as an archetype, someone who is always on a higher dimensional energy and is reaching up to the divine, really. So that is what the function of Neptune is. And that is why Neptune and Mars become Grail Knight energies when they are conjunct. So here is the chart for London. Hold on a second, share, yes. Okay. Why am I doing this? Okay, so here's the exact moment, April 29th at 5:31 a.m. London time. I forgot to put in a.m., but you can actually see it as the sun is just coming up in the first house. There's a very interesting midpoint structure here, which I'm going to explain to you. Here you see Mars and Neptune exactly conjunct in the 12th. So it's kind of hidden, this Grail Knight energy. And the Jupiter-Uranus conjunction is already separating, but still very tight. You have two ladies on the IC, Vesta and Astrea. Vesta is a focusing principle, focus on your roots and family. And Astrea is not really on the IC, but it's the karma breaker, destiny changer. As you can see, Pallas Athena and Lilith, this is the asteroid Lilith, are still retrograding together. The two strong, independent feminine, and Juno and Trans-Pluto, the two spouses, the two first lady archetypes are separating already because Juno turned direct and Mercury turned direct as well. The moon, the Capricorn moon is on the midheaven, shining up on our goal and our future aspirations. And there is this interesting mix of the South Node in Libra, conjunct, uh, dark moonlit, the acceptance of the curse, and the vertex, the point of no free will. So those are the basic chart highlights. And if we take a look at the Mars Neptune, as I said, it's almost anaretic. That is why I gave the title of this video that the Grail Knight gets stuck. Because whenever you see an anaretic position, it means that those archetypes are really got stuck and are unable to move forward, unable to realize what to do and how to proceed. And now we have two of these, because not just the Mars Neptune is almost anaretic, you can actually call it anaretic, but also Venus at the very end of Aries, ready to move into her own sign, takes another half a day before it moves in. So it within that day, so within the 29th of April, Venus will move into her own sign, and that is going to be a very strong position, and it will still make a semi-sextile with Mars and Neptune. And as you can see, Sedna, which moved into Gemini 2 days ago, has traveled 1 minute ever since, but it is already in Gemini. So actually you have an angel wing, which is dissociate. But angel wings are the tiniest of planetary pictures, and the apex is the anaretic Venus. The moment it moves into Taurus, the whole thing will move, and this little angel wing will flop its wings, hopefully. And these are the transcendental objects. I did not put, did I? Hold on a second. Did I put any? No. Okay, I thought so. Anyhow, so this is because it would have been stupid to just use another slide for these. So let's take a look what we have. On Sedna, you have Hathor, the cow goddess, mother goddess of the Egyptians. Panacea, universal treatment, universal remedy. That's exactly what we need. And Sedna, of course, is creation through dissection. So you need to recreate things in your life. And as I said in a previous video on Sedna, in the next couple of decades, we will see intellectual dissections. So we will have to rearrange our ideas, because what we have now is really horrible. So this whole woke idea and woke, the whole wokeness is ridiculous. It is so far away from everyday life, so far away from what's natural, that it is really scary that there are people who actually believe that yes, we should do that. And it's also scary how racism um, is again right there. And I remember how shocked I was a couple of years ago when I still spent some time on Facebook, which I never do any nowadays, because luckily I don't have time and I don't put the energy and effort into it. And I was arguing with someone about racism, and he answered me back with the quotation, "White is not a race." And I was really shocked, because that was I think that when this idea became widespread, that white is not a race and white people are responsible for everything, I think that's a historical turning point. Anyhow, so on Mars Neptune, you have Amenhotep, the pharaoh who created a new dynasty. Sorry about that, I'm fumbling with this. And Sheat, Beta, why do I Beta Pegasus, sorry, and Beta Pegasus, of course. And this is one of the so-called healing words for fresh suicide victims. So it's at the very end of Pisces. On Venus, the tip of the angel wing, the apex of the angel wing, there's Arisha, and Arisha is the alpha star of Pisces. And you might remember that Pisces has two fish in the sky, the two celestial fish. One is horizontal and the other one is vertical. And what they symbolize is very interesting, because that's the last of the signs and the last of the zodiacal constellations. And the horizontal fish wants to move back into incarnation, into the karmic wheel, while the other one wants to leave the whole circus of incarnation and move back on higher dimensional worlds. And that's what Arisha symbolizes. And usually what takes us back is the desire, and Venus rules desires. And then on Sedna, the same things that used to be yesterday there, 2 days ago, are still there. Hathor, Panacea, Morsomnus, and the Pleiades. So the exact same thing. Hathor is the again, universal remedy. The cow goddess. Morsomnus is the death and sleep. And the Pleiades is the home of the creator goddess. Interesting, because the Pleiades is the tiniest of the named constellations, and Angel Wing is the tiniest of planetary pictures. There's this funny mixed midpoint structure. I took first. This is my very first drawing then I took the North Node out, because you can actually see it much better how these four celestial objects are almost at equal part from each other, equal degrees, and so we get two midpoint structures. Chiron is at the Mercury Aries midpoint. What does it mean? If you want to heal your karmic wounds, you need to understand the drastically altered outward circumstances around us. Yes, this is the Third World War already in motion. There are at least 30 wars going on in everywhere. And there's a big one in Europe, and there's another one in the Middle East. And there's always a threat that something is going to break out even worse. And we are really seeing the escalation, and actually the military-industrial complex of the United States is really having a blast, because they are selling a lot of weapons, and of course they're getting rid of the old weapons. That's what happened in the Ukrainian war, that everyone was getting rid of their old 60, 70-year-old weapons, and then also feeling very self-righteous and very virtual that they gave aids to the Ukrainian. Anyhow, so it's funny, because I'm recording this on Saturday, so a couple of days earlier, and today it was in the news. I don't know, it was either Politico or the news or the Wall Street Journal. So the big flagship of liberal newspapers, there was an article which said that the war could have been stopped exactly 2 years ago. In 2022, there were peace talks between the Russians and the Ukrainians, which was stopped by the United States. Think about that. I think I can't even say anything, because it would be horrible. Anyhow, and then Aries, drastically altered outward circumstances, is at the midpoint of Chiron Venus. So again, Chiron Venus is love hurts, but also if you want to understand what is happening around you, why circumstances are drastically altering, look at the money, and look at the money, look at pain and money included. That's exactly it. And here is another interesting midpoint, because as I was looking at midpoints, I realized that Mars Neptune is on the midpoint of Pluto Jupiter. At the moment, Pluto and Jupiter don't have any aspects, not even minor ones, because Pluto is at 2 degrees Aquarius, and Jupiter is at 23 degrees Taurus. So there's no aspect between them. But Jupiter-Pluto is the super success energy. It's very important why. Pluto there's nothing ever enough for Pluto, and Jupiter enlarges everything it touches. And when these two meet, it's really something big and bulky and successful. It's a drive that gives you energy. And so the Grail Knight aspect is at the midpoint of the super success energy. We will see probably in the news how it's going to work out. And besides that, we have also an out-of-bounds moon. As you can see, here's the celestial equator. Here is the edge of the ecliptic at 23 degrees and 26 minutes. So that is the winter solstice point, by the way. So this is the southernmost point of the ecliptic. And at the moment, the moon is almost 5 degrees below it. One of this is 10 degrees, 10, 20, 28, and 14. So it's 28 and a quarter degrees. So this is not a zodiacal degree, it is a declinational degree. So the moon is very, very out of bounds at the outskirts, completely in the dark, so to speak, while all this is happening. So this is the Grail aspect at the moment. This Grail aspect, the Grail Knight is being stuck. Maybe he's trying to find strength. Mars is moving very soon in 2 days, 2.5 days, I think, into its own sign. Venus is moving into its own sign still on the 29th. So we will have 2 personal planets in their own signs, which is very, very strong always. And by then we will see how this almost anaretic conjunction will develop. Thank you for listening.